Limited move.
Oh, but turning our attention to something equally important, which is, in fact, perhaps even more important, because people must be alive before they can exercise their franchise in any elections.
Exactly.
And that is security. And in the light of the different security challenges we've seen the country witness in recent times, we're speaking this morning to Voke Ighorodje, who is the Executive Director of the Reed Center, and also a former National Coordinator of the National Coalition for the International Criminal Court. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you. My pleasure to be here.
Well, you have seen, the different, almost on a weekly basis, perhaps.
Yeah.
Let's be kind, let's be a little more realistic. We hear reports of people being killed. If, they're not being killed by bandits or armed people, sometimes it's things like flood that takes their natural disasters that take their lives away. And I'm sure that you must be extremely worried about, these things. The government has the primary responsibility to secure lives and property. How would you say the Nigerian government is holding on to that particular responsibility?
Well, I would say that the government is really not exercising that responsibility to the fullest. And a brief background to why we are doing this. Today is the 20th anniversary of the adoption of the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court. The Rome Statute is the statute that established the court. It was adopted in Rome in 1998, and today is 20 years of the court existence. Now, what is the ICC? The ICC is the International Criminal Court. It's different from the International Court of Justice, although it's also located at The Hague, like the International Court of Justice. But the ICC is an independent, permanent court that has jurisdiction over persons in areas of crimes against humanity, war crimes, ethnic cleansing, and the crime of genocide, and the crime of aggression, sorry. And these are the four crimes that has the jurisdiction of the court, and it has jurisdiction over cases of international concern. And if you look at what has happened in Nigeria based on your question, you will see that the world has been reacting to the massive atrocities being committed in North Central, in the Northeast. And don't forget that the ICC in 2010 took Nigeria under examination. So Nigeria is presently under examination by the International Criminal Court on crimes possibly committed in North Central area, particularly in Plateau. And investigation is likely to go forward if the court finds it necessary that the crimes being committed in Nigeria falls within the threshold of the jurisdiction of the court.
Interestingly, President Muhammadu Buhari has been invited to...
And the only...
Yeah, to the summit in Rome, in celebration. Yeah. And what do you think he's going to be saying, considering that, we're currently under investigation?
We're not moving to investigation yet. We're currently under examination. Yeah. Now, I guess the reason for inviting him, my sense, is that lately the African Union has been hostile to the court. And the court today has about 198 state parties that have signed, that have ratified the statute of the ICC. Nigeria was a 38th state party. Nigeria ratified before the mandatory 60th ratification. So, and Nigeria is a big player in Africa. I perceived that ICC is worried that the hostility by the AU may go worse, and they need friends of the ICC, and Nigeria happens to be one of the friends of the ICC, like South Africa, who is now becoming hostile to the court. So my sense is that they've invited the president to come, and so that they could get commitment from him. And again, because of the massive atrocities happening in Nigeria, they probably wanted to hear from him and know what steps are being taken. The ICC works on the basis of complementarity. What does that mean? When national jurisdictions are unwilling, are unable to act, then the ICC has jurisdiction. So if national courts can intervene, can undertake investigation, and commence prosecution, genuine prosecution, that the ICC doesn't have. So I guess we're probably going to ask him, what steps are being taken in Nigeria to stop this reign of impunity?
Mr. Voke, from the information available, we understand that one of the kind of principal issues that will be discussed between the President and the ICC is, of course, the issue of corruption and how the judicial institutions within Nigeria have been weakened to the point where it's difficult for them to assist in the fight against it.
Yeah.
Can that fight be outsourced to an international court of justice, in your view? Is that something that the President should proceed to try and implement?
Well, it can't be outsourced, but I believe that if we are willing to, we have credible judiciary that has the capacity to undertake these prosecutions or these investigations and trial. But I believe that in the fight against impunity, except the country is unwilling and unable to act, only then will the International Criminal Court have jurisdiction to act. So I don't know if they're going to ask him that, but my sense is that, one, they want commitment from the government of Nigeria to be able to cooperate with the court, especially cooperation with the court, and two, Nigeria as a big player in African Union, they need the influence of Nigeria to help rally other African countries to support the court.
To be more clear, if there was a clear case of corruption, black and white, the proof was there, and the Nigerian judiciary failed to act on that, deliver a right verdict, if it went to the International Court of Justice, in your view, would that be appropriate?
Now, I'm not sure corruption is under the jurisdiction of the court. I do not think so. And again, it's the International Criminal Court. It's different from the International Court of Justice.
Right, the ICJ,
so the ICJ is, this one we're talking about the ICC, the International Criminal Court. And I'm sure they will not consider issues of corruption. So that's...
No, I'm referring to, of course, the ICJ. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, for ICJ, well, of course, why not? But we do have competent national jurisdiction to undertake such cases of corruption in Nigeria. But for the ICC, corruption is not on their jurisdiction. We have 4 jurisdictions that is for the ICC: the crime of genocide, war crimes, ethnic cleansing, and recently crime of aggression that was adopted in 2010 at the review conference in Kampala, Uganda.
We'll take a moment now and come back and talk about the effectiveness of the ICC so far, especially considering the recent hostile stance of the African Union. In a moment, please stay with us.